Hello and welcome to Deep Stretch and Relax. We are going to be spending most of class on the floor, so if you need a blanket or some blocks to prop your hips up, go ahead and find that. We will come into the standing forward fold at least once, but that should be the only standing posture. So we are going to get started in child's pose today. Bring your knees to your mat, knees nice and wide, uncurl your toes as your big toes touch. Start to crawl your fingertips forward as you rest your forehead down onto the mat. Let your belly hang heavy between your legs. And you settle in here, releasing twitches and movement to find stillness. Throughout class, we will be in long holds in the pose. If at any point you need to take a break, that is entirely up to you. This is your class. This is your journey. These are your goals. You decide where you would like your body to go today. Slow inhale into your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Seal your lips. Breathe in through your nose. Gentle exhale out your nose. Continue on your own. As you find sacred breath, full of life, full of intention. Aware of your own life force as you breathe here. Your fingertips humming against your mat. Your ribs expanding onto your legs with every breath. The stretch for your ankle. The heaviness in your forehead. Stay low in this pose. Take your right arm face up underneath your left as you rest your left shoulder, left ear, or temple onto your mat. Slowly unwind to center. Move into the opposite side. Slowly release. Start to shift forward briefly in the tabletop and then bring yourself all the way down onto your belly. Maneuver your elbows so they come underneath your shoulders, palms face down. Lightly press into the mat with your big toes, with your pelvis. Root down into the earth with your forearms as you get this traction. Like you want to bring your elbows closer and towards your body while you're rooting down. Heart reaches towards the front of the room. Stay or start to bring your chin in towards your chest, nice and slow. Roll your right ear to your right shoulder. Be very gentle. And then slowly roll through center over to the left. If it's comfortable, turn your gaze all the way up, look up to the sky. If it feels right, take your lower lip over your top lip. Bring your gaze back into center. Plant your fingertips on the ground, slightly off your mat. Start to bend into your right knee and then swing it all the way over to the left. So your hips are going to lift up. For me, I need to lift my chest off the mat a little bit to get into this pose. And then we're going to switch sides. And then come back through center. This time, palms flat on your mat, same motion. Come back through center. Other side. Come back through center. Adding on, chin comes to the earth, arms out in a T, palms face down. Take your right palm underneath your right shoulder, and then press yourself all the way over onto your left side. Right foot will land behind your left leg. Stay here or attempt to interlace your fingers behind you. Slowly release through center. Let's move into the other side. And slowly find center. Palms underneath your shoulders, lift your chest up, prop yourself back up on your elbows. You can stay here in your Sphinx pose, or you can start to bend into your right knee and pull your heel in towards your glutes. For some extra help, you can reach around for the inside edge of foot with hand and pull your heel in towards your body. If this is not accessible to you in your body, flip onto your left side, rearrange to give yourself some stability, and then gently grab onto your right foot with your right hand as you pull your heel in towards your glute. Find a gentle tuck of the tail. So you have two ways today to find your quadricep stretch. Gently release, stretch, come back onto your belly if you're not there. Bend to your right knee and bring it over to the right. From here, weave your left arm underneath your right. So just like we were in child's pose, and then start to open your right arm over to the right. You meet in the supine twist. it is likely that your body will come off to one side of your mat, and that's okay. Let both shoulders get heavy. Don't worry if both of them don't touch. Right leg stays exactly where it is. And as you breathe here, notice where your breath goes in your body in this twist. And slowly start to maneuver out of this the same way that you came in. And back up in your Sphinx pose. Bend into your left knee, grab onto the inside edge of the left foot with left hand. Stay here, or roll onto your right side and find your quadricep stretch here. A little bit more supported, no back bend involved. That gentle lengthening down of your tail, that slight tuck to really hone in on the quadricep stretch. And slowly release, make your way to your belly if you're not there. Bend to your left knee as it comes towards your left arm. Leave your right arm underneath your left, just like in our child's pose, and then start to fold open your left arm out to the left to meet in a supine twist. If you notice your left leg starts to lift, it's okay, it's fine. Your body is shaped a certain way due to just how you are, how you were born, your genetics, and also the patterns you've created with your muscles and the movement and how they interact with each other through the years. So if your leg lifts off the mat, it lifts. It's okay. When you've released the wiggles and the movement, close your eyes, check in with breath. Where does it go in this twist? Can you focus on an area that's feeling constricted and breathe more like your life force into that space? And gently bring yourself back onto your belly. Push yourself into an all fours position. All 10 toes are tucked under. Inhale, lift your tail, lift your heart. Shoulder blades slide back. Exhale, round and curl. Press down through all 10 toes, all 10 fingers. Inhale back through center. Extend your left foot out to the left and then sink onto your right heel. You might need to slide your left foot out a little bit to find that stretch in the left inner thigh. Now be careful with the stretches here. Try not to go too far. You want to get to a point where, yes, you can feel the stretch in the muscle, but ever so slightly, like a gentle tug. Try not to stretch to the point of extreme discomfort or pain. You may be harming yourself rather than healing. If the toes tucked under on the right side becomes too intense, feel free to untuck. You have choices. This is your body, this is your practice. You choose how you want it to feel. And slowly lift back up through center. Pull your leg back in. Move into the other side. Extend your right foot out to the right. And then start to sink your hips back. Left toes stay curled under. You might need to slide your right foot out just a little bit. Pause here. Pause with breath. Pause with sensation. And be truthful with yourself about the sensations in your body. Are you honoring your body with where it is today in this moment? And slowly make your way back into that tabletop, that all fours pose. Uncurl your toes, lightly tap your feet on top of your mat. And release. Toes curl under, lift your hips up high. Find your downward facing dog and create a lot of space here. Separate your feet wider than your hips. Invite a bend into your knees. Let your heels sink down. Use your hands here. Grip the mat. Push the mat away from you. Stay strong in your down dog. If you'd like to invite some movement, feel free to get a little sway, maybe a little bend in each knee. You're welcome to stay in stillness as well. Whatever calls to you. Then gaze to the top of your mat and start to walk your feet to your hands to find a wide-legged forward fold. So feet again stay wider than your hips. Let yourself just fold in. Here again, any bend in your knees. Take it. It's still a forward fold. Whatever variation you want your arms to be in. Just drop in. Wherever your arms are, release them to your mat. Root down firmly into your right foot and step your left foot back. Lower your back knee down. Big inhale, lift your chest forward, shoulder blades on your back body. As you exhale, shift your hips back. Send your right toes to the sky for half splits. If you keep a bend in your right knee, then okay, you're still in half split pose. It doesn't change. Every inhale, find length. And every exhale, that's where you can explore your depth, if depth is appropriate for you. And hold here. Think about that lengthening and then that depth. Discover and explore within yourself, within your practice. Shift forward, come back into your lunge and really nestle your knee in your armpit and just kind of wiggle around a little bit. Give your limbs a little massage right there. Slowly shift your hips back, right toes up to the sky. We're back here again for half split. Shift back forward, find your lunge, press into the earth with your fingertips. Let your hips sink heavy, heart opens as you gaze forward. And then shift your hips back, but this time keep your right toes glued to your mat. Shift back forward into your lunge, this time both palms on the inside of your right foot. For more space, shimmy your right foot out towards the edge of your mat. Stay right here as your hips get nice and heavy. Or if you decided to use blocks today, you can bring them underneath your palms or forearms to bring the mat closer to you, or you can lower down onto your forearms. Right knee stays hugged in. You are welcome to stay right here, or you can reach your right arm behind you as you bend into your left foot and grab onto, bend into your, and, ooh, excuse me, grab onto your left toes with your right hand. Welcome to stay on your form if you'd like, or you can come onto your palm, or you can skip this entirely. Slowly release. Palm comes back down. Shift your hips back. Bring your right toes up to the sky. Feel free to stay, or you can start to move into a fuller expression of your half splits or full splits. Just by shinning the right foot forwards. Maybe you come down a little further, maybe you don't. If you have yoga blocks are great here to place underneath your front thigh. One or two of them on any setting, stacked on top of the other to rest heavy. If you want to stay in the first expression, stay right there. So when we come into a fuller expression of a pose like this one, it's so important to honor your body wherever it is. If you are hyper flexible, hyper mobile, this kind of pose might come easy to you. However, relying on that hypermobility and flexibility and not using your strength can also be detrimental in a body over time. So ask yourself, if you are in that full expression, am I strengthening in certain places? And maybe the full expression of the pose doesn't work for anybody. Maybe it's harmful to all of us, and maybe you choose not to ever attempt it. Maybe to stay in a little half one like I am, or to stay in the true version of the half splits. You still get the full intention of the pose with the lengthening of the hamstring. And then wherever you are, slowly begin to pull your leg back in, move into your tabletop. Take some wiggles here, maybe some cat and cow. Feel back into your body after that intensity. So there are a lot of poses in yoga that are really not accessible to most of us. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. You can still work towards it, because a lot of the time these pinnacle poses and these complicated, intense poses, you can still get the same benefits and the full intention of the pose 10 steps before you even get to that really intense or big look of the pose. So the goal isn't the pose, it's the journey to it, and maybe even the journey not to it, or the journey around it. And when you're ready, come on back up into your downward facing dog. Feet are nice and wide. You can find a bend in your knees if you'd like, as you let your heels sink closer to the earth. Use your upper body here, use your hands. And then walk yourself towards the top of your mat to find your beautiful forward fold. Feet again, nice and wide here. Arms however you'd like them to be. Hang heavy with your upper body. And while you're here, check in and notice the differences in both your legs and where those differences are. Really tune in, be honest with yourself. Notice if you're feeling some twinges. Maybe you push too far. Maybe you're feeling really good and you push just far enough to get a nice release of the stretch, but not to hurt yourself. Release your arms. Left foot plants you down, right foot steps back, lower your right knee. Push into your fingertips. Big inhale, lift your chest forward, shoulder blades back. Exhale, shift your hips towards your right heel as you flick your left toes up to the sky for half splits. Every inhale, length through your crown, through your back body. Every exhale, maybe you find depth. Perhaps you stay just in the lengthening phase for this class, or even for this side of the body. And maybe the depth only comes a little bit, maybe it comes a lot, maybe it doesn't come at all. Shift forward back into your lunge. Nestle your knee right in your armpit, your inner arm, and then just give yourself some wiggles, some movement as you massage into your lymph. And then shift your hips back again, left toes up to the sky. Inhale for length, exhale for depth. Shift back forward into your lunge, maneuver left palm to the inside of left foot, create some space as you shift your left foot slightly out. Big inhale, look forward, let your hips sink down. And exhale to settle in, whether that's on your palms, on your yoga blocks, or on your forearms. Feel free to stay right here or bend into your left leg as you reach behind you with your right arm and receive your left toes. Ooh, your right toes with your left hand. I beg my own pardon. Clearly, instructing the specific pose is not coming easy to me tonight. Slowly release, unwind. Shift your hips back this time. Keep your toes planted on your mat. Shift forward, find your lunge, hips sink low, chest open. And then shift back, toes up, stay here in your half splits, or shift your left foot more forwards as you come into maybe a fuller expression and maybe not. If you're wondering if you overstretch yourself in a yoga class, a really good way to tell is if the next day you feel like you need to stretch a specific area of your body. And it'll feel different than when your muscles are sore after an intense workout and you're like, wow, I'm really tight, I need to stretch. This feels different, but it feels like you need to stretch. And if you don't feel like that the next day, you probably haven't overstretched. Or you are very hypermobile and perhaps you're not even using your strength and you're relying on this intense flexibility in your joints, which can put a lot of stress on them over time. That's why in a lot of my yoga classes, if you take them other than the deep stretch, I focus a lot on strength because in this world we live in, there's a demand for certain types of classes and poses, and having that strength can really help us stave off a lot of injury. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And then slowly very gently start to come out of this. Make your way back into tabletop and find some organic movement, whatever that means to you. Maybe contemplate a little bit what I was just talking about and your initial reaction to that, whether it gave you a mental reaction, maybe even a physical reaction, or perhaps just brush right by you. Something else, just another yoga teacher saying. And then from here, make your way into a seated position on your mat, legs extended out in front of you. We'll be coming into a seated forward fold. You have the option to keep your legs long, or you can even invite a bend into them as you fold. So set yourself up, upper body nice and long. Inhale, arms reach up. As you exhale, fold from your hips. You want to find that length again here. So try and stay as long as possible in your back. And that's that lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. And once you can't find any more length, then you go in for that depth, and that's where you can get that rounding in the upper back. And slowly start to roll yourself right back up. Pull your left heel into your body and angle yourself a little bit open so that the right leg is going out towards your right. So take an inhale, arms reach up. As you exhale, right arm lowers to the inside of your right leg. And again, with that length, reach, 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 reach. And then once there's no more length left, then find your depth. This is a fantastic pose to really tune into your bodily awareness. It's very easy here to overstretch the muscles in your lower back because all of us want to reach and grab onto the toe, but that's probably not where a lot of us are going to be today, including myself. So once you feel that very slight tug right at your lower back, your QLs, quadratus simplorums, you stop. Pause for a little bit, and if you want to go a little further, you can. Just try not to go too fast into it so you don't hurt yourself. Slowly open your chest up a little bit more, maybe gaze up to the sky. You might notice the stretch in your back gets a little bit more intense. And even here with the right leg, because there's a lot going on in the body right now. So you need a little bend in that right knee just to accommodate and not hurt yourself and hurt your right leg. Go right ahead. And lift back up. We'll go into the other side. So bring your right heel in, extend your left leg out to the left. Big inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, left arm comes to the inside of your left leg. Reach up and over with your right arm. It's a journey, friends. It's a journey to this pose. Pause where it feels right. Back out where it doesn't. Any bend in your knee that you find it or don't. Bring your chest open a little bit more. So that stretching your lower back intensify, and you might even need to back out of it here. That is okay, that's fine. In a lot of yoga classes where any practitioner can be glorified and praised for coming into this intense, deep posture. And sometimes the teachers will favor those students and maybe even get them a little bit deeper. It's possible that more harm could be going on than good. Honor yourself, honor your body, honor your knowledge and your wisdom of yourself. And come on back up. Nice. All right. Lie down on your back on your mat. Take your time in getting there. I know I just kind of zoomed into it, but feel free to take your time. There is absolutely no rush. From here, take your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock here, left to right. And then take both feet up high to the sky. Hang out here. Up. 30 seconds. We're going to hang out here. Let the day drain away from your legs. Back to your belly, back to your center. Energy refreshed and rejuvenated, ready for tomorrow. I like to give myself a little scalp massage right here. I don't know why. Just a natural reflex. So if you want that little extra bit of love for yourself, go ahead and find it. You're welcome to stay here, or you can start to open your legs out as far out as is comfortable for you and get a stretch a little bit more into the inner thighs. Just legs are nice and heavy. You might notice this is a little bit of a core strengthener as well. We're only here for about 20 more seconds. And then pull your knees back in, move right into happy baby. You absolutely do not have to hook your peace fingers around your big toes. You can grab onto your ankles, your calves, or even your inner thighs, your inner knees, whatever works for you. You are doing your best to let your lower back stay in contact with your mat. Nice and low through your spine, through your back body. Release both feet to come flat onto the earth. Right foot extends up to the sky and start with the interlace of your fingers behind your thigh. Let your toes be completely relaxed here. So no pointing, no flexing, nice and neutral, and guide your leg in towards your body. If you'd like to slide your hands up your leg, find that little bit extra intensity. I love to bend my knee here. I find it to be very protective so I don't overstretch. And I keep the stretch in my hamstring, not so much in my tendons and ligaments. So honor your body is just, I've been saying it all class. You know yourself best. You know what's best. And trust your intuition and your feelings. Gently release, switch it out. Start low. Relax through your toes. And then if you would like, slide your hands up a little bit more. Your lower back and both sides of your hips are still staying in contact with your mat. And slowly release. Find your version of Savasana, whether it's legs bent or legs straight, whether it's palms face up or down, resting on your belly, on your heart, or out in space. Take a slow inhale in, open mouth, inhale, Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Feel your lips. Breathe naturally. Let your mind wander and explore without taking hold of any thought too tightly. I will call you back when it is time. Start to bring bodily awareness back in to your forefront. Aware of the rise and fall, the expansion, the contraction. When you breathe, start to bring movement to your fingers and to your toes. Roll your ankles and roll your wrists. Feel your arms and legs live and in organic movement. Perhaps rock your head from side to side. At your pace, make your way into a comfortable seat, whatever that means to you. Eyes closed, palms touch, chin bows into your heart space, and a gesture of gratitude. Gratitude for choosing to show up and for choosing the pose that worked best in your body tonight. The light and the teacher in me will always walk with and will always learn from the light and the teacher in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. I know I got a little bit on my soapbox about yoga and the asana practice, the physical practice. Yoga is a very personal journey, especially in the asana class, and it's really not helped in this rough Western society where we're in this group class and there's a pinnacle pose, and I definitely do this, and I have done this in the past, and I think it's a really good idea just to question and be curious and to really trust yourself and your body and how you're feeling. You're your own best teacher. You can learn a lot from yourself. I think yoga, just like everything in the world, has the capacity to harm as well as heal. And I think that needs to be talked about a little bit more. Hope you have a fantastic day.